I think we've managed to go through. Oh, no, be careful what you say. Wait, I'm closing Facebook.
Yeah, you better close Facebook, I think.
There we go. Huh. It's so interesting when you begin to talk about out of the box and in the box to see what it means to be out of the box. So welcome, welcome. Everything seems to be fine. Tfu. I'm going to check in a minute on my phone that everything's working, but I'm really excited about hosting you here. I'll allow the two of you to say a little bit about who you are and what you do, but in order to give it context, my name is Revital Chitayat. I am a speaker, a facilitator, a mentor that works with the voices in our head, particularly the ones that keep us from fulfilling our purpose and manifesting our passions. And I met Runa and Nick completely by chance when I entered a game, completely by chance, that a mutual friend, Amir, told us about. And I remember I think I was a day late and I entered and I thought, what is this? This is a game and you're handing out money. And I slowly began to realize that this is a game that is so much more than a game. And I think if there's anything that shows out of the box creativity, it's the fact that the three of us are sitting here, because at the end of the game, I loved it so much that I reached out to the two of you. And you were generous enough to meet with just a woman from Israel, and the rest is history. And here we are on the verge of you giving me the permission to do a game in Hebrew, which we're starting exactly a week from today. So because I would love to introduce you to my friends, please tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do. And then I have a whole range of questions ready to ask you.
Oh, yeah. I say gentlemen first.
Well, thank you, Runa. Very polite. So which one about that is that me? That means me. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Not always.
Pre-operation. Yeah. Okay, not always. Okay. So my name is Nicholas Haines, and I am, along with Runa, we're the co-founders of the No More Boxes movement, which is this idea that we put each other in boxes. Men are like this, women are like this, people are like this. So we'll talk about boxes later. I'm also creator of the Vitality Test, a kindness ambassador. Runa and I have written a book. I'm a speaker, very bad guitarist, all sorts of things. And yeah.
And I noticed recently you're a whisperer to the llamas, or
it was an alpaca actually.
Alpaca.
Yeah. Me and alpacas go back a long way. We go back a long way. Yeah. Exactly. It was part of my kindness ambassador. They were having a lot was kicking off with the alpacas, so we had to do some work with them. It was anyway another story.
So pleased to have you here.
Thank you, Runa.
Yeah, well, shalom. I am Runa and I'm Magnusdottir, and I am here in my home office in Reykjavik, Iceland, which is, by the way, like everyone on this call probably have seen when they are picking the country Israel, Iceland is very close on the list. So we exactly. So we're very connected. Anyway, what I do, Nick said part of it. I'm the co-founder of the movement, the methodology, and actually a lifestyle today about living a life where we are more aware of all the conditions that we've been put into, that I have to be or behave or live my life this way because that's what my ancestors did, or that's what the stereotypical thing around whoever I am is all about. So apart from that, I am a leadership coach and a mentor, and I help people, specifically the new paradigm leaders, entrepreneurs, and politicians, to become better, bolder, and brighter as a leading light in their industry. And that's me.
Lovely. So, I was thinking today about boxes because, as I told the two of you earlier, I've had a challenging day today with all technical boxes that I know. And, we talk a lot about the benefits of stepping out of the box, moving the boxes away. But boxes make order, and boxes define things, and boxes are safe. So why step out of boxes? Why does that? The two of you have a movement called No More Boxes.
Yeah.
So it's something that you've explored.
And well, shall we tell you a secret and tell everyone that's listening a really big secret? Okay.
Can I stop you before you tell a secret? I think it's really, really, really important that with this particular secret, that you don't hold it for yourself.
Oh, yeah,
exactly. Okay, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So the really big secret is, if we were going to be starting again with the No More Boxes movement, what we would instead of having no more boxes, we would have no more horrible, cruel, and unkind boxes that limit us and hold us back and cause division, hatred, war, terrible things, but keep the really nice boxes that bring us joy, happiness, and identity. Create. However, it's quite a long tagline.
It is.
So we come up with no more boxes, but we don't really mean no more boxes. We just mean the ones that cause the cruelty and the division and the limitation. But it's an interesting one with you with that technology thing, because the typical thing we do is we put ourselves in a box and other people. We say, "Oh, I've got all these technical things. I'm terrible at technology." And so we put ourselves in a box. And actually, you might be quite good at technology. You might just not be good at solving this particular problem, but you can operate a phone and you can do this and you can do all these complicated things. But we put ourselves in a box that then says, "Oh, I'm terrible at technology. Technology really stresses me." So we then act out that reality. So
yeah,
that was a secret anyway.
Yeah.
We wouldn't call it
promise not to tell.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
Promise
I was
to tell.
wondering if we could take the first letter of every word and then just have this long, but no.
Yeah, we basically messed up. We messed up.
Exactly.
And then, what surprised me when I played the game, I love talking about imagination. And I work in the realm of the imagination because it's so potent. And yet there was something about just blatantly saying, this is the playground. This is where we're going to play. When often imagination, at least, the Hebrew word in Hebrew, but I think it works the same in English. It's not always such a great word. Oh, you're imagining things. Oh, stop imagining things. And I'd love to hear your choice of exploring, the possibilities, but leaving it completely in the realm of the imagination.
Wow. Can I come back in about an hour and give you an answer?
I think there's a really interesting one on this, because Runa and I talk about this a lot. Yeah. And one of the things is, if we think about our bodies and our physiology, etc., our bodies and our minds don't really know the difference between real and imagined. It is kind of from a bodily experience, and you can watch a film and it can be scary and your heart's beating and you're covered in sweat and you're really, really worried. And actually, logically, intellectually, it's a set. It's all made up. It isn't real. But so the imagination has this incredible power over it. So one of the things that we wanted to do, which I think you love so much and why we created the game, was what if we use the imagination to influence our unconscious mind and our thinking and our behavior, and just immersed ourselves within this game of imagination around money. And I think it would be really good if people are new to this and they don't know what the game of boxes is about, that we just perhaps, I think it'd be interesting to tell people what the game is about. Because it's Runa, do you want to go with that one? And just say,
sure.
Because it is a brilliant game.
It is all really about giving us space to explore how we react to things, explore how we are programmed to think, explore how we are judging ourselves, how we're judging others, just a space where you can explore things in a way that it opens something up for you. It creates new space for creativity within you. And so literally, like you're saying, this whole notion of imagining, we give people imaginary money. So you get imaginary amount of money day one, and that has been $10. And the only thing that you have to do is to imaginary spend it and share it. So you think, okay, what can I do with $10? And of course, it depends on which country you come from. I mean, over here in Iceland, it's so expensive, you can hardly buy a cup of coffee, but that's okay. We can still buy a cup of coffee. So we say, okay, I just bought a cup of coffee and I gave it to or I bought it for myself, or I gave it to someone. So you put it in there. And it's so interesting. Just the minute you start to do this, your things in your head starts to go. You guys start to think, why did I buy a cup of coffee? Why did I do that? And why did I buy that for myself? Why didn't I buy that for Aunt Susie, who never gets enough? You know, there are all sorts of things that start to pop up with you immediately, even only $10. Here's the thing. Next day, the amount has doubled. You have $20. Still, it's not a big amount, but you have to do the same thing. You share what you spend it, and you start to look at what other people are spending it on. And that's when you start to take in immediately. I remember when I did the first time, I think, holy moly, this person bought up flowers for $10 and was buying another flowers. I'm like, is that all you can think of? You know, why am I judging another person for what they are spending? You know, there are things like this that I had to stop me and say, Runa, you know, get over yourself, you know, quiet here. But that's what happens. And then on it goes with double the amount, the imaginary amount every day. And it really starts to be fun when we start to deal with money that most of us have never, ever, ever even imagined that we had in our hands. How was that for you, Revitala, when you were coming to that state, so when you're playing the game?
You know, this is what I keep telling people. This is what got me so excited about the concept is instead of or alongside much deeper, much lengthier, much more complicated processes. As you said, the more you play, the more you agree to play, and the more you agree to treat everything as a potential belief, as a potential box, it becomes really interesting, because even that little judgment, for me, the judgment was not about flowers. In the game that I participated, there was a woman, I was telling friends of mine, who bought gold. And she bought gold the first day. I remember scrolling thinking, wow, gold, okay. Didn't think about gold, but it's cool to buy gold. And then the second day she wrote, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna buy some gold. And I thought, again, you already bought gold yesterday. The third day, she bought gold and diamonds. And I found myself thinking, what are you going to do with all the gold? And I caught myself, and of course, did my diligent homework, realizing the judgment. And it's a tiny little voice, but that tiny little voice sits on a iceberg of beliefs that keep us from attracting the money that will allow us to buy, if we so desire, flowers and diamonds and gold.
Yep.
So I found the larger the amounts of money, the larger I had to breathe, the deeper I had to breathe, and yet there was something profoundly fun about it, and delicious about the idea that every day Nick and Runa supply me with double the amount of money. So there's something about getting the mind used to a mindset of abundance, of expecting good rather than usually we're geared to go down the worst case scenario route, but every single day, just more money appeared. And there's something that happens when you allow yourself to just enjoy the possibility that this happens. So
one of the things
go,
Runa, off you go.
Oh, thank you. You're such a British one. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know. I put you into the British box, but that's okay. Revital, can you recall when exactly, at what day, or not exactly, approximately, did you start to realize that this was an ongoing process? That you would get, it would be doubled tomorrow, that this was endless abundance.
I think for me it was quite soon. I mean, I got the hang of it and I was like, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
and I started looking forward to the mail because of all the work mails that greet me every morning. There was one that every single day told me that I have more money to spend, which meant that I had an invitation to dream, to fantasize, to explore, to get in touch with what I really want. You talk a lot about discovering your order of preferences.
Yeah.
There was something very insightful to see what I chose, when I chose it, and I'm not a sharing type, so I'm not. It doesn't come naturally for me to share on Facebook. Certainly not my dreams and desires in a group of people that I don't even know. But that was part of the game. There's more.
So you went out of that box saying, I'm not the sharing type.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you broke out of that one.
And to see what happens when I have to be faced with, what will they think of me? Is it okay to buy gold and diamonds 3 days in a row?
Yeah.
I asked someone that same question. When did you start to believe the money was coming in all the time and kind of get that sense of joy that the money? I asked someone that the other day who played the game, and they said to me, I knew I was starting to believe it when I started sleeping at night, because they'd had horrible insomnia. Wow. And they said, because they worry about money and worry about life and worry about things, and suddenly they started to sleep at night, because I think because they're unconscious now, knew that more money would be coming and they would be spending it. At that point, the difference between reality and things started to influence them on a body level, that their stress levels, their cortisol started to calm down. And I thought, God, that's really interesting as a absolute tangible response. I suddenly thought myself, actually, I know and I went through, I have a Fitbit and I can go through my sleep history. And I think, God, look at when I was playing the game of boxes, look at my sleep. It is completely and utterly different. And yet we're running a game, we're in charge, we're doing posting and we're doing email and we're on Facebook. But some part of me just felt
calms your nervous system.
My central nervous system just very interesting, very interesting.
And then it's about all the stories of people, of what have happened to them playing the game, calming the nervous system down, being more in the flow, playfully seeing money as energy that is coming and going, and they change their perspective. one of the things that I loved to do when I was playing the game was to really go into, Googling things that was really out of my reach in my mind, obviously. And one of the things that I Googled and I was looking at was this tours on bikes. And I really, in my dream, I wanted to go to Croatia for so long. And I did last year, I was biking around Iceland with my two girlfriends. You can go to rollaroundiceland.com. That was just an advert, but that's okay. But I wanted to do another trip somewhere, and specifically in Croatia. So I Googled, and I found this beautiful trip. And I thought, wow, okay, it was quite expensive. So I decided, one day I put a deposit on that trip. And the next day, because I knew next day I could finish the payment, and I not only finished the payment, I could actually invite my partner to go with me. And actually, this particular trip got me so excited that I thought, Runa, this is what you're going to do. You are gonna go on this trip. It's not only gonna be your head goes there as well. It's not only gonna be there. You are really gonna go there. And I have to share with you, basically 10 minutes ago, literally 10 minutes ago, I am about to book that trip to Croatia, and I am able to invite my partners to go with me, cycling in Croatia this September. So it is something about it. This just came, to me right now. And so it's this thing about being in your flow, really getting excited, allowing the universe to just kind of like hold you and play with you. And you don't really know how it's going to turn out. But I was just so amazed. And we've heard, so many stories around people seeing that things have changed for them, things have shifted for them, and they're seeing life totally differently.
Yeah.
I think there was something about this massaging the conscious mind, which is very effective. And it's in this unassuming wrapper of a game. So it's basically harmless.
Yeah. Yeah. I in that same game, I think it was the game before. I woke up one morning, and the day before I bought an Italian villa on the lakes, beautiful Italian
I think
villa.
we're neighbors.
We had it. Well, we were neighbors, but I woke up in the morning and I felt a little bit low, and I didn't know why it was. And I suddenly thought, actually, I don't want that Italian villa. Actually, I've always dreamed of having an Italian villa, and now I have it. Actually, it doesn't float my boat. I'm thinking, got to look after it. It's there a bit further. Actually, what I would like is a really nice house down in Cornwall, where there's all the surfing and all the thing. So I sold it. I sold my big villa in Italy, and I bought a big house in Cornwall, and then I bought a small apartment in Venice. Sold my big villa in Italy, and I bought and I suddenly thought, oh, thank God for that. I've got it right. And it was just such a relief. And then I was then my sister was coming to stay, and my thing, and it was like such a different visceral experience between the villa just dropping my energy and actually making me feel. And then suddenly I had a beautiful house in Cornwall with surfing and beaching, lovely flat in Venice, apartment in Venice, which is beautiful. You must come and stay. It was just amazing, the difference and recognizing, breaking an assumption I had of myself that I wanted that Italian villa. I just fancied George Clooney, and I thought I'd be near him. I'd got the wrong lake to start with, and didn't float my boat. I was on the wrong lake. And now my apartment is fairly near Brad Pitt, who I've got a bit of a man crush on as well.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's all good. It's all good. And my wife was happier as well.
Amazing. You know, it's funny because when we spoke last week, and I was in this playful mood, I was looking for something to add to the game, and I asked the two of you. I said, how about if when we do the Hebrew version, somewhere around week 2, we tell people, how about you explore doing something in reality? And both of you reacted instantly, and your reaction was, no, 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 you can't mix the two, because in this game, the whole idea is to remain in that playful, imaginary mindset.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing, this allowing yourself to enjoy for 5 minutes a day. It could be more, but that's basically the minimum, I think, right? 5 minutes to allow yourself to be ridiculously playful, to just
Yeah, because I think one of the things that, so say it's the difference between the cinema and television. Okay, so you go to the cinema and you watch a film and it's 2 hours and there are no adverts, there's no interruption, you've got a big screen and it's a fully immersive experience. Whereas on the television, unless it's a BBC, most things have adverts or things coming in or interruptions or things around you. So you don't have that immersive experience. So one of the things when you're saying, oh, let's do something for real part way through, it was that it was like an advert. It would be like an advert that ruins that immersive experience. Whereas when you're in the cinema and you come out of it and you've been somewhere different, particularly if it's an epic film. And the Game of Boxes is an epic experience over 21 days of immersive, and it changes people. They get to know each other themselves. And you also have, what I think was really, really interesting, we had in the very first game, this couple, and we were playing the game together, and the husband kept on buying his wife jewelry. And kept on thinking this, and I bought her this, and I bought her this. And then it came to conversation. She had to say, actually, I don't like jewelry. But he had always thought, when I'm wealthy and when I'm rich, I will be able to buy the love of my life. I'll be able to buy her jewelry. And that'll be exactly what she wants, because that's what we're going to do when I'm rich. But actually, he was rich because he was playing the game. He did it. And then they had this really interesting conversation about what mattered to them, and they came up with this charity and these causes, and it was nothing about jewelry or cars, or it was about a deep soul connection that they made.
And it was interesting what you're saying, Nick. And both of them, in this case, both of them were playing. And I think in the cases where families were playing with children or partners or whatever, it was interesting to see how this game gave them space for a totally different type of conversations, like what Nick is saying. Probably, this conversation about do I like jewelry or not has probably never been on the table.
True.
No,
but it opens up for different type of what do I value, what is important to me, and so that can as well, just you get to know that person that you maybe have been living with for years, for decades. And it's like with you, Nick, you saw a new side to your children when they were playing, that you had no idea that was of value for them.
Yeah, my kids are in their late 20s, 30s, and I learned more about them in that one son really immersed himself in it, and I learned more about him in those 21 days than I did for probably ever. In terms of his and his values. I also saw him as an adult rather than as a child, and he was doing these, and I thought, God, I didn't know that mattered to you. I didn't know that was important. I thought I knew him, but I didn't know him at the level I got to know him in those 21 days. It was actually a very tearful, emotional experience for me, seeing my son doing what he was doing. And I was thinking, bloody hell, wow, God, I didn't know he was like that. And and other people, someone else who was playing the game was telling me that they thought that their daughter was very, very frivolous and very, or like this. And then they were playing the game, and then they started doing this incredible stuff, and just completely knew them in a different way. So yeah, play with your kids. Play with your kids.
I actually, you know, in the post that I wrote, I keep saying, bring your family, bring your partner, bring your kids, bring your friends. My daughter agreed to join in. My husband has not yet. I'm still working on it, but I've got my eldest daughter joined in the game, so that's going to be very exciting. I wanted to ask you, and then we'll sort of wrap it up and leave it for the surprises, because we're meeting you in our group in the game. The game happens, by the way, in a closed Facebook group, so you're free to dream and fantasize and buy and sell and invest and donate, and all of that happens in a closed group. You know, of the many boxes, why money?
Money, when we open up our money box, we open up so many other boxes. We open up our perception of money and our gender, money and our religion, money and our upbringing, money and our culture, money and our education. And so it opens up on so many other boxes that, and I have not met one person in my lifetime, and I'm pretty old, not that old, but I'm pretty old, that has not some perceived notion of wealth, what it is to be wealthy, what it is to be poor, and they have some set fixed mindset into the two and are living according to that. So it all starts, it really is one box that joins them all.
Yeah. We call it a foundation box. There are certain boxes that are foundations, and money is a foundation box.
And I like that expression.
Yeah. So it kind of forms the foundation of many things, or can be used, as Runa says, to shine a light on other ones. And one of the boxes that it really does shine a light on is the worthy box, good enough box. Am I worthy? That sense of, do I have the right to be here, to own, to have, to be joyful, to be wealthy, to be abundant? It shows up, that whole box around, am I a good person, am I a bad person, the sacrifice. Lots of many of us will go through our life with constant acts of sacrifice for other people to be looking. So when I played the game, the first time I played the game, I played it as me without thinking. I just played it. I got to over £1 million, and I had not spent anything on myself. I bought a book the first time, and then I thought, oh God, I wish I bought chocolate, because I love chocolate. But I bought a book, and that was the thing. And then the rest of it, I just spent it on everything else. I didn't pay off my mortgage, my debt, or anything. I just gave things. And I thought, God, I've done that. And I thought, well, actually, that's what I do in life. I just constantly. So the second game I played, I started paying off my own debt, looking after myself, doing this stuff. And it was, I was in a state, wasn't I? I was kind of thinking, people think I'm horrible, people think I'm bad, people think it just, and I had to really work to address, to get that balance right between, to give and receive in harmony, to have that balance between, which is what we should be looking after ourselves and others in equal measure, and not from a place. And I thought, God, I just have operated for 61 years in a place of total and utter sacrifice. And it challenged me then. It was really difficult, really difficult. And then brilliant as an eye-opener. And then the third game I played it, I did a balance between this and that. And I thought, actually, this is me. This is how God intended me to be in a place of harmony and balance. And then it felt lovely. So it was very, very powerful.
And again, I think what struck me, looking for ways to expand and expand consciousness, expand awareness, open up windows for change. This is a game. So it's just by playing, just by allowing yourself the freedom to imagine and the courage to write it out, which is equally important because, as you said, up come those fears about what will they think? Is it okay? There's a lot of noise on either one, but what an opportunity to not only understand but feel. It's very visceral. It's very physical. So all of these together were why, as I played it, I thought, this is brilliant. This they have to let me do this in Hebrew.
And I am so excited to see and get to know your Hebrew friends and people in Israel or Hebrew speaking people from all over the world. Probably, you don't have to be in Israel for that. To play and to although I do not, I know the word shalom.
Yes,
that's it. But I will comment a lot of shalom, shalom, shalom. But at least what I will do is I will be looking forward to see what you value and how you are going to be challenging and exploring and hopefully breaking free from the many social conditions that are holding you and your team, your peeps back.
Tell me, is there? I'm wondering now. Was there something that I don't know if this is a good question. Was there something that was particularly surprising or inspiring that you discovered in this process about people, about this process? Something that particularly stood out for you? Tell us about your own thing, because I was wondering, you've seen this transition, you've had tens, hundreds of people go through this.
Well, what I would say, and it's not maybe a surprising, I think it's probably what I want to say when I'm saying what I'm sharing, what I'm about to share is more of just paying attention to, and that is to pay attention to your own conversations as you start to play the game. And when your inner conversation starts to go into that, oh, this is too difficult. Oh, I don't have time for this. Oh, this is becoming, oh, I don't know what to do with all this money. No, this is not me. I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm not used to money like this. That's when you start to go in there, just to pay attention that is your old programming that is talking. That is not you. That is just an old program that is repeating. It's like an old LP record going, kicking, 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 and that's all that it is. And you have a choice when you start to feel that's taking in for you. I am that old. I remember the old record player. What you do is you take the needle up.
Yeah.
Yep. And you just move it ahead and you turn it around and you put it on again, and boop, it starts to play again.
New song.
New song. And you can start, you don't have to be stuck into that old conversation with yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I think the thing that Runa, I've talked about this, so I know it's true for her. I think that what surprised us about the game is we thought the game was good because we have delusions of grandeur. We think, oh God, it's the best game ever. So we have this idea. Anything you invent to create, you think, oh, that must be good. But we had no idea it would create the level of change it created. We thought it was good, and then we thought, oh, actually, this is really quite good. And then as the game went on, we thought, oh my goodness, this is now gets to be a bit scary good. And then when after the game, people were talking, and then when they played the game the first time, and then people said, when are we playing it again? And we have never had anything that we have done. People say, when are we playing it again? And then the second time, they got as much, and they said, when are we playing it again? And I was on a call today, about an hour, 2 hours ago, with someone. When are you playing another game of boxes? I said, oh, probably November. Oh, let me know. I want to be on it.
Yeah.
I've never known. So I think we were surprised by the playfulness, the joyfulness, the fun, the excitement, the ease at which people had transformation, because transformation is meant to be, but it was, as Runa said, you kind of hit some tough points where you get stuck. But of course you do, because you're doing deep change. But what change is, and we had really, if we even vaguely pretended we had some sense that it was as good as we were deluded with our thinking it was good, and it just went somewhere else. And for us, even if just me and Runa playing for ourselves, I'd be happy with it.
Yeah.
But the fact we have a great community, and the final thing I think that really surprised us was the friendships that came out of the game, like us getting to meet you. And then we've had these people that are just communicating, and they play and they chat, and we haven't played the game for ages, but they're still chatting away and talking and become friends, and they're visiting each other because you've known them at a soul level.
Yeah.
In 21 days.
Yeah.
You meet someone's soul in 21 days.
Yeah, I think it's also, allowing somebody to peek into your innermost desires.
Yeah.
Which is very special.
Mm.
So true.
So we've magnetized a group which is filling up. I'm not going to let it grow much beyond what there is now, because I'd like to try to give people personal attention.
Yeah.
But I invite whoever is interested. This version is in Hebrew. As you heard in November, there's going to be another international one. It is so much fun. And within that fun, it is really serious because there's an opportunity to step out of a box, to deeply step out of a box, just by imagining, just by allowing yourself to say, what do I want today? Which is such a powerful sentence. In Israel, it lands at a very potent time because we start on the 1st of September, and a week from today, and a couple of days after is the Jewish New Year. So what a wonderful way to sort of align our dreams, our hopes, our desires, to start inviting abundance in such a simple, playful way. I really hope that whoever's hearing this and knows that they're meant to be there, don't even think about it. Just come join us, because it really is a wonderful, wonderful process. Game. It's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Yeah.
So,
Runa and I will get printing with the money. We'll start getting the money together. We've got our bank accounts.
Because I'm so generous.
Yeah,
I just started with $100. I skipped the.
Have you? Okay, that's wonderful.
$100 bill.
Okay, then I start with $100 and then 200 and 300. So that's how it goes.
Start rolling the money.
Rolling the money. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I will. Nick,
Off we go.
Nick,
I'm going.
You're doing this well. Okay. Yeah.
We're making money. We're making money.
Here. You said September 1st. Okay. Yeah. Start with $100. Okay. We got it. Roger that.
Yes. And we plan to get to the millions and billions. So please don't stop.
No.
We have abundant amount of money. We're not short of money. We have got lots of it.
And we will be there to hold space for you and your team, for you and your people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that you feel safe, you feel secure, and most of all, you have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you for this. I was so worried about losing the boxes and freezing somebody that I didn't really look at the comments, but I saw that we have a few. So if there are any, then I'll answer. I saw that some of my friends, some of my favorite people were on the call and loved it. They're playing with us. There's an amazing group of people playing, people with huge imaginations. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for birthing this idea, because I really believe that this is it's a lovely shortcut to a profound change. So thank you so much. You see, we managed to talk almost an hour.
Look at that.
Well done.
And it was an absolute joy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah. Have fun on the game.
Have fun.
Enjoy.
Shalom, shalom.
See you on there. Bye. Shalom.
Bye.
Bye.